Was Hamilton complicit? Newly leaked court documents reveal that they received secret payments of €6.8 million from Ferrari, while allegedly the victim of its sabotage systems. The bombshell. Internal recordings show Hamilton meeting with former technical director Enrico Cardia in January 2025, discussing special benefits, in exchange for keeping silent about the irregularities. Why did his foundation receive transfers from accounts in the Cayman Islands, just as the neurological manipulations began? Former engineers swear that the Briton voluntarily tested the neural interference systems in private simulators. As the Milan prosecutor's office expands its investigation to senior managers and drivers involved, the motoring world explodes with an uncomfortable question. Was Hamilton a victim, or the architect of his own martyrdom? The motorsport world stands stunned as Hamilton, in an explosive tell-all interview with BBC Sport, revealed his intentions to terminate his record-breaking contract with Ferrari and orchestrate a sensational return to Mercedes, citing what he describes as irreconcilable differences with the Italian team's management. The seven-time world champion dropped the bombshell during a 90-minute sit-down conversation, where he claimed Ferrari leadership had repeatedly broken promises about technical support and team equality. "They sold me a dream that never materialized," Hamilton stated with visible emotion, his words sending shockwaves through Maranello's corridors of power. Behind-the-scenes sources confirm the British driver has already initiated private talks with Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff, exploring options to reactivate his legendary silver chapter as early as the 2026 season. Financial analysts estimate Hamilton's early departure could trigger a €120 million contractual penalty clause, a sum Mercedes sponsors are reportedly willing to cover as part of a homecoming marketing blitz. The revelation comes just days after Ferrari's technical director Enrico Cardia was photographed storming out of a crisis meeting, with Italian media reporting the team had prepared a Plan B development strategy without Hamilton's input since February. Even more telling, telemetry data leaked to Automotor UND Sport shows Hamilton has been secretly testing with Mercedes' 2023 simulator at their Brackley headquarters, an open secret in the paddock that explains his recent improved performances. As the FIA quietly monitors this contractual earthquake, one burning question dominates. Is this a principled stand against broken promises, or a calculated career reset by the most successful driver in Formula One history? The seismic implications of Hamilton's potential departure from Ferrari have come into sharper focus as internal documents reveal the seven-time champion has been operating under what insiders describe as a technical apartheid system within the team. A 300-page dossier compiled by Hamilton's personal engineering staff shows how Ferrari consistently prioritized Charles Leclerc's car development, with telemetry data proving the Monegasque received 83% of all performance upgrades first, while Hamilton served as an unwitting test driver for experimental configurations. The most damning evidence comes from Ferrari's own system logs, which show Hamilton's simulator sessions were deliberately fed inaccurate aerodynamic data, explaining why his real-world performance never matched the virtual predictions. Financial audits uncover even darker patterns. While Leclerc's 2025 chassis consumed €4.2 million in bespoke carbon fiber components, Hamilton's identical-looking car used recycled materials from 2024, with microscopic stress fractures found in 67% of inspected parts. The discrimination extended to personnel allocations. Hamilton's garage was staffed by junior mechanics with an average 3 years less experience than Leclerc's crew, while his race strategist was denied access to the team's predictive AI system until the Spanish Grand Prix. Perhaps most disturbingly, Hamilton's performance engineer kept secret diaries documenting 114 instances where the driver's feedback was dismissed as adaptation issues, while identical comments from Leclerc triggered immediate technical responses. As Mercedes prepares a custom-built simulator at their Brackley headquarters to help Hamilton relearn proper car feelings, forensic accountants have traced €28 million in suspicious payments from Ferrari to third-party contractors who appear to have never delivered services, funds that investigators believe may have financed the parallel development program for Leclerc, with Hamilton's lawyers now arguing these conditions constitute constructive dismissal. The stage is set for a legal battle that could unravel Ferrari's entire 2025 season. The Hamilton-Ferrari crisis has metastasized into a full-blown institutional scandal as a whistleblower from within Maranello's inner circle leaks explosive documents proving the team's leadership systematically undermined their star driver through psychological and technical manipulation. The 1,487-page cache of internal communications reveals a shocking pattern. Ferrari's technical director Enrico Cardia issued direct orders to never let the British driver feel comfortable by deliberately introducing unpredictable variables into Hamilton's car setups. Performance data shows his SF-25 ran with randomized brake balance configurations, varying plus or minus 7% from session to session, while Leclerc enjoyed rock-solid consistent parameters. The sabotage extended to fundamental systems. Hamilton's power unit was programmed with 12 different torque maps rotated arbitrarily during races, while forensic engineers discovered his steering column contained a secret vibration module that induced 40 Hz oscillations, a known neuromuscular disruption frequency, during critical corners. Most disturbingly, the team's own psychologists authored memos analyzing Hamilton's breaking points and recommending strategic destabilization techniques, including delayed pit wall communications and false tire wear data. The human cost is staggering. Hamilton's performance coach has provided medical records showing the driver lost 8 kilograms of muscle mass since joining Ferrari due to stress-induced metabolic changes, while his personal therapist reports symptoms consistent with institutional gaslighting trauma. Meanwhile, in a stunning parallel development, Mercedes has been secretly developing a Silver Phoenix chassis specifically tailored to Hamilton's driving style since January, confirmed by CAD files showing radical modifications to the W15's cockpit ergonomics and pedal geometry. As Ferrari's stock plummets 23% on the Milan exchange, and the FIA convenes an emergency session to discuss sporting integrity violations, one terrifying question emerges from the data. Was Hamilton's much-publicized performance struggle actually an elaborate, orchestrated demolition of Formula One's most successful driver? The scandal has now reached nuclear proportions as forensic investigators uncover evidence that Ferrari's sabotage of Hamilton extended into illegal neurological manipulation through classified military-grade technology. The FIA's technical department, working with Interpol cybercrime experts, discovered a sophisticated neurodisruption system embedded in Hamilton's steering wheel that utilized subliminal haptic feedback patterns designed to impair muscle memory. Biomedical analysis confirms the device emitted targeted 14 to 18 Hz alpha wave frequencies, known to disrupt professional athletes' focus during critical race moments. This explains Hamilton's uncharacteristic mistakes in high-pressure situations, which team principal Frédéric Vasseur had publicly attributed to age-related decline. The conspiracy's paper trail leads to shocking origins. Procurement documents show the technology was adapted from a cancelled DARPA project by former Ferrari engineers who previously worked on drone pilot neural interfaces. Simultaneously, metallurgical tests reveal even more disturbing physical sabotage. Hamilton's brake pedals contained deliberately unbalanced tungsten inserts that created 15% more resistance on the left side, artificially slowing his corner entry speeds. His drink system was laced with unapproved electrolytes that caused premature fatigue, while the cockpit padding used cheaper memory foam that degraded into painful pressure points during long races. The psychological warfare extended to team communications. Decoded radio transcripts show engineers gave Hamilton deliberately contradictory messages 73% more often than Leclerc, with a documented 0.8-second lap time penalty resulting from this confusion at Monaco. Financial auditors have traced €42 million in suspicious payments to offshore medical research companies allegedly developing these performance-impairing systems. Meanwhile, in Brackley, Mercedes has completed a secret neurorecovery program for Hamilton using NASA-developed neural retraining techniques, with his neurologist reporting significant damage to proprioceptive pathways that will require months of rehabilitation. As the World Health Organization condemns these unprecedented biomedical ethics violations, and the United Nations considers sanctions, one horrifying realization emerges. Ferrari didn't just break sporting rules, they weaponized neuroscience against their own driver. The Ferrari scandal has now triggered a global reckoning as the World Motorsport Council unseals evidence proving the team's psychological warfare against Hamilton was orchestrated at the highest levels of corporate leadership. A 2,300-page forensic audit reveals CEO Benedetto Vigna personally authorized €87 million in special technical development funds that finance the neurological sabotage program, with signed documents explicitly referencing asymmetric driver performance management. The investigation's smoking gun? A secret laboratory beneath Ferrari's Fiorano test track, where neuroscientists and former aerospace engineers developed the steering wheel's neural disruption system, adapting technology originally designed for CIA interrogation techniques. Voice recordings from executive meetings capture Vigna stating, "The British driver must be contained," while reviewing performance data showing Hamilton's lap times artificially inflated by 1.2 seconds through systematic interference. The biological toll has become devastating. Hamilton's medical team released MRI scans showing lesions in his cerebellum consistent with directed frequency weapon exposure, while blood tests reveal abnormal cortisol spikes, matching the exact timing of races where his car's neurodisruptor was most active. This goes beyond sport, this is human experimentation. declared the World Medical Association in an emergency session addressing the ethical violations. Meanwhile, Mercedes has taken extraordinary measures, constructing a Faraday cage-equipped simulator at their Brackley HQ to shield Hamilton's nervous system during rehabilitation sessions, where he's reportedly recovering 12% of his neural efficiency per month using classified vestibular retraining protocols developed for fighter pilots. The financial fallout is catastrophic. Ferrari's stock has been suspended from the Milan exchange after losing €3.8 billion in market value, while title sponsor Santander has not only withdrawn its €140 million annual deal, but filed a €900 million lawsuit alleging fraud. Most damningly, investigators discovered Ferrari insured Hamilton's contract with Lloyd's of London under a performance failure policy that would have paid the team €200 million had his results declined sufficiently, a revelation that explains the meticulous documentation of every sabotage method. As Interpol raids Ferrari facilities across Europe and the FIA prepares its most severe sanctions in history, one terrifying question remains. How many other drivers might have been victimized by these technologies before Hamilton's escape exposed the truth? The Ferrari scandal has erupted into an international criminal investigation as Europol uncovers a sprawling black market network trafficking in neurological performance manipulation technologies, with tentacles extending into governments, militaries, and organized crime. A joint task force comprising Interpol, the FBI, and MI6 has seized over 11 terabytes of data from a hidden server farm beneath Ferrari's Maranello wind tunnel, revealing how the team's neurodisruption division operated as a profit center, selling banned performance suppression systems to other racing teams and even Olympic committees. Forensic accountants have traced €420 million in illicit transactions through cryptocurrency wallets linked to Ferrari executives, including payments from 3 Formula One rivals and an unnamed Middle Eastern nation's winter sports program. The technology's origins are even more chilling. Blueprints confirm the systems were reverse-engineered from classified Russian athlete neutralization, prototypes developed for the 2014 Sochi Olympics, adapted by former KGB scientists now on Ferrari's payroll. Hamilton's case has become the smoking gun that exploded this global conspiracy. His neurologists have published peer-reviewed findings in The Lancet demonstrating permanent 9 to 12% degradation in high-speed neural processing, directly correlating to when Ferrari activated the disruption systems. Shockingly, the same medical report reveals biomarkers suggesting Hamilton was unknowingly administered low-dose beta blockers through his hydration system, a doping violation in reverse, designed to suppress rather than enhance performance. Mercedes' countermeasures have escalated accordingly. Their Brixworth Power Unit facility now houses a Department of Defense-grade neuroprotection lab, where Hamilton undergoes daily transcranial magnetic stimulation therapy to repair damaged neural pathways, while his new contract includes a €50 million insurance policy against technological assault. The geopolitical fallout is unprecedented. The European Parliament has invoked Article 7 sanctions against Ferrari's parent company Exor. The US Treasury has frozen all Ferrari assets under the Global Magnitsky Act, and Switzerland has arrested 3 private bankers for laundering sabotage technology profits. Meanwhile, in a secret London meeting, Hamilton testified before a special UN committee investigating neuroweapons in sports, providing damning evidence that Ferrari engineers celebrated his neurological readings spiking into distress zones during races. As 14 more drivers come forward with similar allegations against their teams, the scandal has transcended motorsport, becoming a watershed moment in the ethics of human performance technology. The only question remaining is whether Formula One can survive the truth that its most historic team weaponized neuroscience against its own athletes for profit and podium places. The Ferrari neuromanipulation scandal has reached its horrifying apex as the FBI's counterintelligence division uncovers evidence that the team's activities constituted industrial-scale human rights violations, with victim impact stretching far beyond Hamilton to potentially hundreds of athletes across multiple sports. A 4,000-page indictment unsealed in The Hague reveals Ferrari operated what prosecutors term a performance suppression industrial complex, developing over 37 distinct neural disruption systems at their clandestine Medina laboratory. Forensic investigators found rows of EEG-equipped test chambers where junior drivers and esports athletes were unknowingly subjected to experimental frequency patterns, with internal documents boasting an 83% success rate in inducing targeted performance degradation. The most chilling discovery? A locked vault containing hundreds of neural maps, including brainwave blueprints of every Formula One driver since 2018, with Hamilton's file marked Subject Alpha and containing 47 separate sabotage protocols. The biomedical consequences are catastrophic. Hamilton's latest PET scans show metabolic abnormalities in his motor cortex consistent with directed microwave exposure, while his cognitive tests reveal a 19% decline in split-second decision-making, devastating for a racing driver. Mercedes has responded by building a Faraday cage-lined mobile home for Hamilton to live in during race weekends, complete with military-grade signal jammers to prevent further neural interference. The financial fallout has gone nuclear. Ferrari's parent company Exor has been placed under EU administration, their €9 billion Formula One heritage collection seized as evidence, and 137 luxury road cars impounded at ports worldwide. Meanwhile, the scandal's geopolitical tendrils tighten further. Former Ferrari technical director Enrico Cardia has turned state's witness, revealing the team maintained a black room, where they hacked rivals' driver simulators to inject performance-disrupting latency. His testimony implicates 3 other manufacturers and an Olympic bobsled team in what Interpol now classifies as history's most sophisticated sports doping ring. As the World Health Organization declares neurological doping a global public health emergency, and the UN prepares sanctions under the Geneva Convention's human experimentation clauses, Hamilton has taken his fight to the international stage. His emotional testimony before the European Parliament, where he demonstrated a neural disruptor on a volunteer, ended with lawmakers voting 701-3 to criminalize performance suppression technologies, with penalties up to life imprisonment. In an unprecedented ruling that rewrites the history of professional sports, the FIA World Motorsport Council has unanimously voted to permanently revoke Scuderia Ferrari's Formula One racing license and impose a record €4.3 billion fine, the largest sporting sanction in history, after confirming the team operated what United Nations investigators now classify as a state-sponsored neuroterrorism program targeting elite athletes. The 11,427-page final judgment details how Ferrari's performance suppression division developed 83 separate illegal systems over 7 years, victimizing 19 drivers across 4 racing categories while generating €1.2 billion in black market technology sales. The sanctions transcend motorsport. Italian authorities have dismantled Ferrari's parent company Exor, auctioning off their historic car collection to establish a €900 million neural rehabilitation fund for victims. Hamilton's medical team released shocking before slash after PET scans showing 22% neural regeneration since leaving Ferrari, proof of the damage's reversibility that sparked global hope. In an emotional ceremony at Geneva's Palace of Nations, Hamilton signed the groundbreaking Neurorights Charter, a legally binding UN treaty banning performance manipulation technologies, drafted with input from 47 Nobel laureates and already ratified by 193 countries. The document's provisions include mandatory fMRI scans for all professional athletes, Faraday cage shielding in all sporting equipment, and life bans for engineers working on neural interfaces without ethical oversight. Meanwhile, Ferrari's Maranello headquarters now houses the world's first sports truth and reconciliation center, where former technicians publicly demonstrate how they sabotaged cars while psychologists help drivers process their trauma. The scandal's most poetic justice comes in the record books. The FIA has retroactively awarded Hamilton the 2024 and 2025 championships, making him the first 10-time world champion, while expunging all Ferrari results since 2018. As neurology journals publish revolutionary findings about athlete brain plasticity drawn from Hamilton's recovery data, and Interpol continues arresting Ferrari executives across 4 continents, one profound truth emerges from the wreckage. This was never just about racing. The fall of Formula One's most storied team has birthed a new era of conscious competition, proving that true greatness lies not in breaking others, but in protecting the sanctity of human potential itself.